Hello, class 10th. So we are too much ahead of the syllabus. So I thought of just starting and just moving on to the grammar. So today I'm just planning to start with grammar section. Okay. So grammar section, very important section is here is the what you call reading comprehension. Okay, children. So in the reading comprehension and the grammar section generally you are facing lot of difficulties in getting the good marks, so we are beginning with this one only. Today I'm going to, in this video I'm going to just give you one reading comprehension as part of the example from my side, and one more reading comprehension is for you to complete at home and just do it very systematically and honestly. Fine. So this is the reading comprehension number one, text one. Okay. So what you have to do is to go. Given below is a speech by Sardar Patel, one of the prominent figures of India's freedom struggle. This particular is reading comprehension on Sardar Patel. Okay. This is one of the convocation speeches delivered by him. You have to just go through this one only. Sardar Patel's call to youth to build character and to be disciplined. I must thank you for the affectionate and warm welcome which you have extended to me, and for the love and regard which you have shown me by conferring this honor to me. Gifts are of many kinds. Those achieved by one's own endeavor are good and deserved, but no gift should be conferred on one whose worthiness has not been tested. By selecting me without assuring yourself of my fitness for the gift, you have let me under a heavy debt, and by your injunctions that I should continue to prove worthy of it throughout my life. You have imposed on me a very difficult obligation. At present, I cannot say anything because I am bound by your love and affection. And therefore, with your blessing and God's grace, I pray that I may prove worthy of it. Should I fail, the blame for my failure will be shared by you as well. On this occasion, I wish to place before you a few thoughts which occur to my mind as incidental to our hard-won freedom. We have now won our freedom, but just as I am doubtful if I deserve the honor that you have done me, you have also to think whether you have done everything to deserve freedom that you have attained after such a bitter and sustained struggle. There are people who think that having won freedom, there is nothing more to do about it. Freedom has come to us through sacrifice. Those who have made sacrifices tested the fruit of their efforts and self denial, but it is for those who are now enjoying freedom to test its fruit. After the last World War, there is an all round deterioration in human standards. Okay? People have become self centered, and they have forgotten or ignored the wider interest of the country. The essential and noteworthy features of our struggle were sacrifice, okay, truth, and non-violence. The weapons of the World War were violence, brutal force, or political and military moves and counter moves. As a result of the churning of the ocean, the world has emitted poison. That poison is spreading all over, and there is none to swallow it. The countries which were free have managed to digest it somewhat. But we, who have just attained our freedom, it is hard to do the same. Therefore, those who think that having attained freedom, they have attained everything, have really attained nothing. The freedom that we have won is yet to be consolidated. The foundations of freedom have to be well and truly laid. This 1 year old child has to be nursed and nourished, instructed and strengthened. It is for us to do it, and we must do. In India, today there is no time for useless controversies and unnecessary debates and disputes. No one can indulge in these pastimes when one has time and leisure. At present, we have to occupy ourselves with the all-absorbing task of making the foundation of our freedom strong and unaccessible, unaccessible, unsellable. Sorry, we have to reflect on our place in this broken and distracted world, and what our duty and obligation are if we fail to make the best use of our freedom, to make it worthwhile and turn it to our advantage and advancements. Future generations will heap curses on us. They will say that a spiritualist, a great soul, gave us this precious boon, but we did not know how to retain it and lost it. I should like to urge upon those who train citizens of tomorrow, and to those citizens of tomorrow, that we have yet to stand on our feet. We must concentrate on one thing alone. Why? How to make our country strong and united. We can make it strong when hearts are pure, and when we fully appreciate our duty. Though now that foreign rulers have gone, are we in a position to sustain the whole burden that has devolved devolved on us? When we took over from them, the administrative fabric was in tatters. We have to mend and place it. This in itself is a heavy responsibility. It is for our universities to train young men to shoulder these responsibilities. The great universities of life is full of experiences, but to make full use of those experiences, all of us students, teachers, and professors have to be cautious and on guard. The most essential requisite is character. What is that? Character. If your character is lacking and you leave the precincts of the alma mater without your character fully developed, you will be wasting an opportunity of lifetime. You have to realize that India has to attain its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. The leadership of Asia would be hers if she conducts herself well, and if her citizens make their fitting contribution to nations' resurgence. Whatever trials and troubles we might have passed through, there is no denying the fact that we have a precious inheritance, and the teachings we have received from the departed leaders are great assets of us. India abounds in the resources of nature and manpower. They are awaiting full use. That task must devolve on young men and women. We ourselves were trained in the school of experience. We fought for freedom, and we have attained that prize for you. It is now up to you to prove yourself worthy of the same. They, this you can do only if you work with single-minded devotion to the cause of the country. It is only then that you can deserve this freedom and be proud of. The real danger of India lies in our disunity. That poison of communalism was sprayed in the past. You should draw a curtain over it. Only then could we equip ourselves for the freedom that has come to us. There are still people in the country whose loyalty to India has not settled down. They should and will leave India. This is the occasion for mutual help and mutual cooperation. We must know that our duty is as true citizens. Your teacher has to impart that duty. Unless we learn to shoulder our responsibility in the true spirit of discipline and citizenship, we cannot go ahead. We must strengthen our shoulders and our legs so that we can stand erect and bear the burden that has devolved on us. Then alone would we assure, then alone would we secure the real objective of freedom. This is the source of the collected works of the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. This extract is taken from that. So this was the first the first and foremost thing Patel stressed to be done is to make the country strong and united, to give employment to everyone, to fight a war against those who oppressed us, or to make every citizen feel happy, to make the country strong and united. One major characteristics of university education, as Sardar Patel believes, is character, knowledge, duty or power, character building. What did Patel not mean when he said, you have to realize that India has to attain its rightful place in the community of nations? Take the right answer. Friendly and cordial relationship with other nations, group of nations which wage war against other, community of people or nations from the continent. Community of people. India abounds in the resources of nature and manpower means India has a vibrant economy. India's natural resources and populations are a great resource. India's lack of manpower. Indians are great resources and development. India's resources and populations are a great resource. What is the greatest danger for India as Patel believes in the speech? India has a vibrant economy. India's natural resources and populations are a great resource. India's lack of manpower or Indians are great resources for development. India, what is the greatest danger for India as Patel believes in his speech? India has a vibrant economy. India's natural resources and population are a great resource. India's lack of manpower. Complete the following statement based on your understanding of Patel's speech. The first and the foremost duty, you have to go through this one only and just complete this one. This is your giving. Okay. At the same time, Sardar Patel called upon to do so. What is the freedom and what are the responsibility you have from this one only, and the grammar activities, this I am giving you as a part of the practice for all of you. You need to practice it and complete this exercise. Editing also the same thing. I'm just going to do one or two sentences in the beginning. The editing, the following passage has an error in each line. Find the error and write the correct word or words against the line. I don't mean that some peoples are born clear-headed. So here peoples. So what will be the right answer? Will be people, because the plural of the people itself is the plural. So there is no need to add, no need to add s there. So this is a wrong. So this is a wrong, and the right answer is people here. Okay. In the same way, and is there for natural writers, whereas and are therefore is here talking about the writers. So here R should be the right answer. So here is the editing. In the same way, children, you need to just complete all the editing, this one at home. Okay, this is for your work. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thanks. Bye bye. God bless you. Thank you.